So you've just moved to the US and you've probably already hit a really strange wall, right? There's this 3-digit number, your credit score, something you've likely never needed before, and suddenly it's the key to everything. Without it, you're basically invisible. Well, we're gonna fix that. Let's walk through how to build your US credit history step by step. This right here is what they call credit invisibility. And it's this weird reality that most new immigrants face. I mean, you could have a ton of money in your savings account, but without a US credit history, you're like a ghost in the financial system. To lenders, landlords, even your phone company, you just don't exist. There's no data, so there's no trust. And this leads to that one incredibly frustrating question, doesn't it? You know you're responsible, you've got the money sitting right there in the bank, but the system just keeps saying, no. So why is that? It's because in the United States, your savings don't tell the whole story. What lenders really need to see is a track record, proof that you can borrow money and pay it back responsibly. Honestly, that history is the only language they speak. But don't worry, there is a clear path out of this. We're gonna start with this whole credit invisibility problem, then we'll decode the credit score itself. After that, we'll cover the first steps you have to take. Open up the credit building toolkit, look at some really cool shortcuts, and finally, talk about a realistic timeline. Let's get right into it. All right, section 1. This is really the heart of the problem. It's a paradox, right? The very thing that probably made you look financially strong back home, you know, having a lot of savings and avoiding debt, is the exact thing that makes you invisible here. So the first thing you have to do is kind of unlearn that instinct just for a little while to start building credit. And the reason this matters so much is that a credit score's impact is huge. We're not just talking about getting a mortgage someday. It decides the interest rate you'll pay for a car, whether you get approved for an apartment, how much you pay for insurance, even the security deposit for a new phone. It really does touch almost every part of your financial life here. Okay, so if this score is the key, then we have to understand the rules of the game. You know, it's not some random mysterious number. It's actually a formula. And once you see how it's calculated, you can start strategically building your score piece by piece. And this chart breaks it down perfectly. This is the FICO score, which is what pretty much all the top lenders use. And just look at that giant slice of the pie. Payment history, 35%. This is by far the most important factor. It boils down to one simple question. Do you pay your bills on time? After that comes how much of your available credit you're using. Everything else really just builds on that foundation. Now, this is a really important distinction that you need to know about. FICO is the big one. It's the industry standard, but it needs at least 6 months of credit history before it can even calculate a score for you. VantageScore, on the other hand, can often generate a score way faster. For anyone new to the country, that is a massive advantage. It's your on-ramp to becoming credit visible. All right, let's get to the actionable stuff. Before you can even think about using credit building tools, there are a couple of non-negotiable first steps. You've got to get these done to establish your financial identity here in the US. First things first, you need a financial ID. Now that's either going to be a social security number or an ITIN. A lot of people think an ITIN is just for taxes, but that's a huge misconception. It is so much more than that. Think of it as the key that lets you open bank accounts and apply for credit. It literally unlocks the entire system for you, even if you don't have an SSN. And I know, getting an ITIN might sound super complicated, but it's really a straightforward process. You fill out one specific form for the IRS, attach your tax return, and show them proof of who you are. Once you have that number, you're officially on the grid and you're ready to start building your credit. Okay, so you've got your ID. Now it's time to open up the toolkit. Let's look at the core tools. These are specific products designed to do one thing: create a positive trail of data for the credit bureaus to see and score. The secured credit card is the classic first step for a reason. Here's how it works. You give the bank a small cash deposit, maybe $200 or $300, and that becomes your credit limit. Then you just use it for tiny purchases, like a cup of coffee or gas. And here's the crucial part. You pay the bill in full and on time every single month. See, the bank has zero risk because they have your deposit. And in exchange for that, they report your perfect payment history to the credit bureaus. That's the entire point of the product. Next up is the credit builder loan, which I gotta admit works in this really fascinating, kind of backward way. A bank loans you money, but they don't actually give it to you. They lock it up in a savings account. Then you make small monthly payments to pay off this loan you never even got to touch. So why would you do this? Simple, because every single on-time payment gets reported. Once you've paid it all off, the money is released to you. It's a product that exists for the sole purpose of generating a positive payment history. Now, this strategy is all about leverage. If you have someone you really trust, a friend or family member who has a long and excellent credit history, they can add you as an authorized user to one of their credit cards. When they do that, their great history can essentially get copied onto your report, giving you an instant boost. Now, the key word here is trust, because their spending habits can affect you and yours could affect them. So we've covered the core tools. Now let's look at some more advanced strategies. Think of these as powerful shortcuts that can help you speed up your progress by using data that the financial system normally just ignores. Experian Boost is a total game changer. I mean, think about it. You're already paying your rent, your phone bill, maybe even Netflix and other streaming services, and you're paying them on time every single month. But traditionally, you get zero credit for any of that. Well, Experian Boost connects to your bank account, sees those payments going out on time, and adds them to your credit report. It's a fantastic way to get rewarded for the good financial habits you already have. But what if you had amazing credit back home? It's so frustrating to feel like you have to start all over from zero. Well, that's exactly the problem Nova Credit was created to solve. It basically acts as a translator. It takes your credit history from your home country and converts it into a US equivalent report that companies like American Express can actually understand and use. It literally bridges the gap so all your years of good financial behavior don't just go to waste. Okay, with all these tools and shortcuts, I know it can be tempting to want results overnight. But the last and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle is understanding the timeline. You have to set the right expectations. So let's be real about the timeline. After you've been using a tool like a secured card consistently, you can expect to see your very first credit score pop up in about 3 to 6 months. That's your first big milestone. Then, after about a year to 18 months, you'll start to see really significant progress. And after 2 or more years of that consistent, responsible behavior, you'll have built a really strong foundation that opens the door to much better financial products. And you know, this quote from New OmniBank really just says it all perfectly. This system is designed to reward one thing above all else: consistency over time. There are no magic tricks here. It's all about demonstrating that you are reliable month after month after month. Patience and consistency, those are your most powerful assets in this journey. When you really think about it, your credit history is so much more than just a number. It's your financial passport in the United States. It's what grants you access and opens up all kinds of opportunities. So the only real question left is, what's the first step you're going to take to get your passport stamped?